splendid.
Let me do it. Let me do it. So the old boy left us 250,000, did he?
You're 237,000 in the red.
We're joining the working class.
Oh, very well, dear. What shall I wear?
Expenditure. Food, £3.50. Gin, £6.50. Rent arrears, £8. Electric light meter, 300 francs. Income. Davina's babysitting, £4. Gareth's window cleaning, £5. Sale of priceless Matabele ceremonial war drum, 50 pence. Discrepancy, £8.50.
Splendid. We can put it in the holiday fund. Am I playing Greensleeves, by the way? It's always been one of my favourites.
You're playing the red flag, and Mother dear, a discrepancy is a minus.
Well, I know that, dear. I'm not totally illiterate. And you're quite wrong. It's Old Tannenbaum. German for Greensleeves.
What holiday fund, anyway?
Well, so far, we have £68 minus accumulated. That means that we can't possibly go to Biarritz, which I hate, and I shall look forward to it enormously.
Must we not go to Biarritz? Why can't we not go to Bermuda this year? Loathsome dump.
Can we stick to the point and do give Dad a kick? He's in this as much as we are.
Stuart, where the devil's my brandy and soda?
You can have a lemonade shandy if you like. We're at home.
Oh, pity.
We're talking about holidays, dear.
We were not talking about holidays. We were talking about our budget. Income, £9.50. Expenditure, £18. Discrepancy, £8.50.
Reminds me of friend Dickens. What was it he used to say? Annual income, £20. Annual expenditure, £19.19 and sixpence. Result, sixpence. Notorious buffoon in his day, still unsurpassed as a storyteller. Alice in Wonderland was a classic of its kind. The same applies to Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, Emil. The king asked the queen asked the dairymaid, could we have some butter?
The royal slice of bread. To which the answer is no, not unless we can raise £8.50 before the end of the week.
Tish, tush, and taradiddle. The matter is in hand.
You don't mean to say you found a job at last?
Well, yes and no.
Well, have you or haven't?
Well, let me put it another way. We have, and then again we haven't.
We haven't.
Oh, Davina, don't win more of a blasted dishcloth than you can possibly help. I assure you something will turn up. And that, I do believe, is the unmistakable sound of something turning up. The more it snows, tiddly-pom, the more it goes, tiddly-pom, the more it snows, tiddly-pom, the more it goes on snowing.
Beg pardon, sir.
The more it goes on snowing.
It has got parky. It looks like rain to me.
I know that. It has got parky. It looks like rain to me. Benjamin?
The name is Stubbs, sir.
Oh, but it can't be surely the fellow was a painter, wasn't he? But I believe I grasp what you're trying to say. You're Mrs. Stubbs, right?
Yes, that's right, sir, about the cleaning job.
Very good of you to come, Mrs. Stubbs. I had no idea you're a poet. My wife will be delighted to meet you. Mrs. Stubbs, my dear. Wife, son, daughter. Mrs. Stubbs turns out to be the author. If it has got parky, it looks like rain to me.
Mrs. Stubbs has not come here to recite, dear. It was kind of you to come in response to my note. Now, do sit down.
Oh, well, thank you. I just thought I'd pop round. I do hope it's all right.
Oh, no, perfectly convenient. I take it you've not been suited in the interim.
No. Well, I did have one or two other replies to the advert, but I didn't like the sound of them.
Oh, you showed good judgment in coming to me. Yes, one can see that you come from a good home.
Well, I like to have things nice, but I'm afraid I haven't been able to do the work as I'd like to these days. It's my legs, you see.
And steady on the old pins. What?
Well, I don't think a discussion on Mrs. Stubbs's limbs will further matters very much. Now, to reiterate, Mrs. Stubbs, the position is for general housework, and the remuneration would be in the nature of...
Well, I thought £1 an hour.
What?
Did you utter?
£1 an hour? They've cracked up at last ring up the funny farm. Mother's gone clean off her chump.
Sir, you are a hobbledehoy. I apologise for my son, Mrs. Stubbs. He's had no education to speak
Certainly
of.
not in the field of arithmetic. What the devil's wrong with pound an hour, Gareth?
A pound an hour? We can't afford tuppence an hour. Mrs. Stubbs, I'm very sorry, but you're the victim of the clapped-out aristocracy's delusions.
I beg your pardon.
I mean to say, you've been brought here on a fool's errand. My mother doesn't need a cleaning lady.
See, I always told you the boy is mentally retarded. Of course I don't need a cleaning lady, you foolish child. It's Mrs. Stubbs who needs a cleaning lady.
You're putting us on.
And what is that expression supposed to mean?
Well, I mean, you a cleaning lady? Mine boggles.
Well, have you know I've mucked out pigs in my time? If I can muck out pigs, I can certainly muck out Mrs. Stubbs.
Well, that's very kind of you, I'm sure.
You mentioned something about a garden, Mrs. Stubbs.
Yes, well, but I'm afraid I haven't been able to do much with it since Mr. Stubbs passed over.
Passed over? Passed over what?
Popped off, Millie. Handed in his dinner bed. You know what you mean. My late father had a similar experience, you know, Mrs. Stubbs. Shot by a rabbit, poor old boy.
Well, I will take care of the flower arrangements, of course, but the garden will be my husband's province. He's had a great deal of experience.
Perfectly true is I used to look after my own estate at one time, you know, with a certain amount of help, of course.
Oh, well, I expect your son would have given you a hand.
Gareth? Good God, no, you couldn't recognise a beach tree from a drain pipe. How many acres do you have, Mrs. Stubbs?
Well, I don't know. It's quite small, really, just the lupins and the privet hedge.
Kitchen garden, asparagus beds, hothouse, marrows, that sort of thing?
Just the lupins and the privet hedge.
Any conifers?
I don't think so.
Quite right, Mrs. Stubbs. You might as well grow bundles of firewood. Grow oak, Mrs. Stubbs. Good, sturdy English trees. Yes, oak.
Well, it's just the lupins.
The privet hedge, quite. Well, that's settled then, Mrs. Stubbs. You may expect us tomorrow morning.
Well, you're quite sure you won't think the work's beneath you?
Mrs. Stubbs, the Seacrofts have a tradition of service going back through the centuries. We are here to serve.
Perfectly true. Phrase coined by my late Uncle George. I'll see you out, Mrs. Stubbs. Goodbye. Now, there was a peculiar cove, my late Uncle George, you know. He had a great penchant for barmaids. Suspected at one time of being Jack the Ripper.
Yes. Well, you won't forget the address, will you? It's number 33, Clement Attlee Avenue.
It is engraved on my heart. Au revoir, dear lady. And remember, no conifers, only oak.
Yeah, just the lupins and the... Yes, well, thank you.
Ah, here we are. Number 33.
So it is. Here we go then, Phillida dear. Over the top.
You strangely forget yourself, Robin. We're servants now. We can't possibly enter through the front door.
You know, you're the very Dickens for ceremony, Phillida. Very well then. Where is the tradesman's entrance?
I expected it round the back. Oh, what a nuisance. You would think people engaging servants would provide basements.
Yeah. Mrs. Stubbs, number 23, bus almost door to door.
I expect these are our quarters.
Well, it's the kitchenette, actually.
It will suffice. Now, if you will give us a moment to change, we shall be at your disposal.
Oh, well, I'll leave you to settle in then, yes. Oh, by the way, you must forgive me, but I'm not quite certain what I should call you.
Oh, I thought you knew the name Seacroft.
Does that answer your question, Mrs. Stubbs? The gardener's name is Seacroft. On the other hand, you are at liberty to address me by my Christian name. It is Phillida.
Phillida? Oh, what a nice name, yes. And they call me Gladys.
Well, that is no concern of mine, Mrs. Stubbs. I shall address you as Mum.
Oh, well, just as you please, of course, but it's not necessary.
It's not only necessary, Mrs. Stubbs, it's obligatory. Titled ladies are addressed by their servants as milady, but those not so honoured are addressed as mum. It is the rule.
Oh, well, of course you know much more about it than I do, Phillida. Well, I'll love you and leave you then. Oh, and the tea is there.
Oh,
Tea
do
for
I
you.
understand that you wish me to make tea, mum?
Oh, no, not for me, no, not at all, but I thought you might like a cup.
That's dashed decent of you, Mrs. Stubbs. I'd love a cup of tea.
We are here to work, Seacroft. The lupins and the privet hedge await you. And now, Mrs. Stubbs, perhaps if I may be left to my kitchen.
Oh, yes, excuse me, yes, of course. Yes.
Is there gin on the premises, Seacroft?
Gin conspicuous by its absence, dear.
Well, there is, however, some cooking sherry. It will have to do.
Oh, I say, Phillida, do you think we really ought to help ourselves to our employers' booze?
Employees have been helping themselves to our booze for the last 700 years. It's our turn now. Mum, it came to bits in my hand.
Oh, dear me. Oh, well, never mind. It was only a cheap one.
Oh, if you pardon the liberty, Mum, that is hardly the correct answer. One is expected to say you were a clumsy girl, Phillida. That was a valuable family heirloom.
Oh, but it wasn't, because Mr. Stubbs won it at a shooting gallery.
But the master's hobbies are neither here nor there, Mum, if you'll pardon the liberty. Naturally, you will take damage off my wages.
Oh, I should do no such thing.
It is expected, Mum. Now, I've finished the bedroom. What would you wish me to do next?
Yes, it's getting on for 11. How about a nice cup of coffee?
Very well, Mum.
And Phillida.
Yes, Mum.
Honestly, there's no need to curtsy.
I shall curtsy, Mum, if it kills me. As you wish, Mum. Thank you, Mum.
No, wait a moment. Wait a moment, I'm here. Whoa, whoa. Oh, now that's what I call a job well done. Oh, you've done the hall beautiful.
Thank you, Mum.
And nothing broken. Why, it's like a miracle. It truly is. It's a bit of heaven.
I was ever so careful, Mum.
Yes, you've done ever so well. If there's one thing I like to see, it is a nice, clean hall. Oh, Seacroft!
I'm merely saying on, madam, an expression used by gardeners to cover a variety of situations.
Oh, no, don't touch it, Phillida. No, leave it. It'll brush off when the mud's dry.
Well, in that case, Mum, perhaps I might begin to prepare luncheon.
Oh, do you have to? Well, what I mean, are you just have a sandwich?
Although I says it I shouldn't, Mum. I'm an excellent cook. Now, if I might just put the vacuum cleaner in.
No, don't touch it. No, don't touch anything. Because, you know, you've done the hall beautiful, and I'd rather put the vacuum away myself. Make them go away. Oh, please, please.
Luncheon is served, madam.
Soup, Mum.
Oh, thank you very much.
Bread, madam.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
Salt and pepper, Mum.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
Bottled light ale, madam.
Very much.
Is the soup to your satisfaction, Mum?
Oh, yes, it's very nice indeed. Thank you.
Has madam had enough?
Yes, I have, as a matter of fact, yes, thank you.
Grilled pork chop, Mum.
Thank you very much.
Greens, madam.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
Potatoes, Mum.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
Gravy, madam.
Oh, thank you very much.
No.
I suppose you used to eat like this every day.
Indubitably, madam.
With butlers and footmen and all that.
Unquestionably, madam.
Oh, yes. I bet you enjoyed it while it lasted.
It was a pain in the backside, madam. Give me a roast beef sandwich any day of the week, what, madam?
What Seacroft means, Mum, is that if you prefer to eat more informally from time to time, we could always bring you something on a tray.
Oh, that's very kind of you, I'm sure.
Oh, we are here to serve, Mum.
Yes, I know you are, and I'm very grateful. But the point is, how long do you intend to go on doing it?
Oh, as long as we give satisfaction, Mum.
Pudding, madam.
No, I don't think I shall bother, thank you very much.
I have prepared a Crêpe Suzette, Mum. I think it'll be to your taste.
The only fly in the jam pot, madam, is that we couldn't find a spirit lamp, so we had to make do with this paraffin stain.
When we get settled in, Mum, perhaps with your permission, I might prepare a list of kitchen necessities. For example, there is very little brandy in the house.
Oh, yes, Phillida, well, I wanted to speak to you about that.
Gin, of course, would be an excellent substitute.
Not, of course, for Crêpe Suzette, my dear. Damn thing doesn't ignite. You see, no slosh in the brandy, Phyllis. All right.
What I meant was I wanted to talk to you about settling in. Well, could I put it this way? Are you sure the post suits?
Oh, absolutely, madam. It's the best situation I've had since they made me mess officer in August 3rd and 4th, 1943.
You need have no fear, Mum, that we're the type of couple to chop and change and go behind your back to seek other positions. The Seacrofts are noted for their loyalty.
Yes, I'm sure you are.
Absolutely. Oh. Once we're in a job, we're in it for life.
For life?
No, never again.
Never.
Never, under any circumstances whatsoever, again.
What on earth have you two been up to? You look as if you've been down a coal mine.
My dear fellow, I fervently wish that we had. If this is what earning one's daily bread entails, I shall give up the starchy foods entirely and live on berries.
Come on, admit it, you've got the push, haven't you?
We tendered our resignation.
We had very little choice. You should never have volunteered to help the fire brigade. It was exceeding your duties.
Well, yes, I think we'll draw a veil over that particular incident. The main thing is, though, Philida, you see, we made all our mistakes in the first day. In future, we shall know what we're doing.
But you don't seriously suggest we should take another post? In the first place, I'd rather be staked to the ground and eaten by white ants. And in the second, we left our employment without a reference.
No, my dear, that's where you're wrong. The last thing Mrs. Stubbs said to me was no hard feelings. It was while you were putting the bed linen out to dry.
Well, why you had to poke the hose pipe through the bedroom window, I shall never understand.
That is neither here nor there, dear. What is here or there is that she gave me this.
Oh. Dear Lord and Lady Seacroft, I haven't the heart to tell you this face to face, but I don't think I shall be needing you any more. I'm not used to grand people like yourselves, although admittedly you did your best to make me feel at home.
Extraordinary thing to say. She was at home. I don't know.
However, it gave me a bit of a break. Just my little joke, ha ha. The enclosed is a little something for your time and trouble.
Fiver? How spiffing.
Well, we can't possibly accept it. We haven't earned it.
Not earned it? What are you talking about, Philip? We've earned every penny of it. What, rushing hither and thither, putting out fires at our age, while these two sit on their fat bottoms doing nothing at all.
Yes, I'm bound to say that you might have prepared dinner while we were at our labours.
How do you know we didn't? Ring the bell.
Now, what's this charade supposed to mean?
The bell.
Wait, see.
Dinner is served, milady.
Ta-da!
Oh, Davina, my darling, and you do look pretty in your pretty hat.